Greetings. There has been a realization that has been very, very pertinent in my life in recent terms. This realization is basically the fact that we are we are beings that struggle to move forward in many circumstances in our lives. And this is not to be blamed because sometimes we do need time to process the things that go on in our lives that happen to us. But then sometimes it's actually a matter of not accommodating the kinds of changes that would actually help the kinds of movement that we would like to see in a lateral position moving forward. That that is said by saying this. Basically, we listen to music from past times in our lives that doesn't allow us to move forward. We call them the classics, but then we know that every time we listen to this, it takes us back. We watch movies that we've seen before, movies that we watched at a time where it was okay, it was more acceptable, it was more of an okay movement towards enjoying that movie, but not realizing that that movie actually was in a different timeline, a different frequency than the one that we're in. So when we rewatch it, it's not that we are rewatching it solely. It's actually we are rewatching the time that we were in. We are we are refocusing the frequencies of the time through this time, but the sometimes the frequencies have changed, but we keep on engaging all the frequencies, letting us actually try to time travel back to a time past using our minds instead of actually enjoying the true presence that is ever present, realizing the presence that is within time now, the presence of reality as it as it as it plays out at the present moment. I say that to say this: we do not move on because some of the things that we do, they do not reflect the kind of change that we are trying to move toward, or at times we do not have a certain change. But in your spirituality, your spirit does need to evolve. Your spirit does need to reflect the kind of changes that you want to see in order to facilitate this understanding of why that spirit changed. So, in order to properly, fully stand, why did my spirit have to change? Why did I have to learn the lessons that I did? Learning these lessons is basically learning how your spirit changed and why it had to. And being able to learn why it had to, you are able to better accept this and then be able to now facilitate the kind of changes that need to stay in order for you to move forward. So what I say is basically the kinds of songs that you're listening to that remind you of older times, they are taking you back to those older times, whether you like it or not. And those older times are not necessarily there. Let's say at that time you had a beautiful girlfriend or boyfriend, but now you and that person no longer like each other. Now you actually going back to those times, you are inspiring those modalities of framework, but which are not valid right now because whilst you are busy reminiscing about your old boyfriend or girlfriend, the new opportunities, the new doors, the new people that want to come into your life now have to be held back because you just want to go back and look at old photos again instead of moving forward. So basically, the whole framework of moving your paradigms also involves your reality in this fundamental level, literally realizing that the old songs that I'm listening to are just songs that I enjoyed at that time. Yes, I like how they say the things, but are those things that are being said on that song still relevant to what I'm feeling now? And if the answer is no, you are wasting your time because the universe respects frequency, energy, and vibration. So if you are frequenting the energy of the old vibration that you used to entertain, then you are not moving forward in your energy. You are actually actually still entertaining those kinds of modalities that you needed to let go of in the first place, the modalities that the universe showed you that you needed to grow out of. So you need to actually realize how moving forward actually allows you to accommodate the kinds of modalities that need to come into play for you to move forward, because who you were at that time, that you were that person when you like that song, is not necessarily the person that is needed now. Not saying that you need to change so much that you are unrecognizable beyond what you are, but meaning I'm just saying that you need to recognize yourself on a level where you actually see what is truly authentic to you, but also be able to accommodate change in order to move along the program, move along to better pastures, move along to your spiritual growth. So basically, when you learn how to move forward, to actually cut off music, the old music that no longer truly reflects the kind of reality you wanna reflect, that no longer actually uh, entertains the kinds of reality that you want to entertain, whereas instead you're now listening to more, you're finding newer music, you're finding new movies, not repeating old movies. You know, it's okay to watch it 2 or 3 times, but if you're going back a fourth time, then this movie has a very, very deep lesson for you. I'm an advocate of the universe teaching you through various mediums. So, yes, if the movie still calls to you, then by all means make sure that you catch every lesson, but make sure that you have a pen and paper also to note, why is this movie calling to me so much? What is so relevant about this movie that I need to actually acknowledge it so much? But at the same time, be aware that other knowledge bases, other ways of living are also waiting for you to realize them, so that you can finally move to a better modality of living, a better modality of reality. So this means that you have to actually accommodate change into the level of, if you watch a movie, because this is a practice that I'm actually realizing now. If you watch a movie and you enjoyed it and you feel this movie was great, take take what resonates with that movie, but also throw it out of your life. Do not make it like a thing that you revisit over and over and over again. Personally, I enjoyed the Avengers movies. They had Avengers Infinity War and the Endgame. I don't know how many times I've watched those movies over and over, trying to relive the moment. I try to re-enjoy it, trying to reiterate the lessons that I learned. And sometimes I'd actually go back to actually study like what is relevant in my life about what these characters are portraying in on the screen, because realizing reality is actually me portraying, actually it's that my eyes beam out sight, beam out light, which captures what's happening. And then what's happening is carried inside my brain, where my brain actually digests the image and tells me, you are seeing a red car. And then that red car is portrayed in my sight, and it forms an image. If you know about sight, you know what I'm talking about. Meaning that all that we see is literally inside of our own heads. What our eyes perceive is actually what they pull in, that is processed inside the head, and then the head decides what we're looking at, and then produces the image in an instant of time. So basically, understanding that means that everything we are looking at, this reality is actually within us, not without us. So if it is within us, even what you call a piece of media such as a movie is actually within us rather than without us. It's not outside of us. Like this person who was portraying the movie was actually portraying their vision, their way of seeing things. But how we are going to perceive it is going to be a reflection of the kinds of persons that we are. So when you watch an Avengers movies, the reason why they were so popular is because each and everybody had a character that they can resonate with in some way or another. Like maybe you resonate with some of the women superheroes in because you have similar struggles. Then you relate to some of the men superheroes in that you have similar ways of thinking, you have similar ways of doing, you have similar ways of going through life. Their character traits are some of your character traits. This is how reality reflects how we are inside. So, realizing that everything that you see and look at is within you is realizing that everything out there is not out there, it's actually in here, it's actually within. As within, so without. So goes the law of the universe. So as we think, so we are. So if your thinking is that I have to watch a movie like 12 times and I'll probably come back to it again, it means that somewhere in your reality, you are someone who is not willing to actually move forward with their life and actually see other pastures, see other movies that could also fascinate you. Meaning that in your life you might have a clingy type of mentality where you want to cling to every great time, every great adventure that you had, or at the danger of actually ruining the kinds of adventures you could enjoy in a future coming time. Meaning that you want to look at all the album photos of the great times that used to be, but you do not want to actually see that you can actually you can actually make space for new memories by getting rid of the old ones. Because the sad part about memories is that sometimes they take up space, they take up too much space, and now we have to literally literally remember the old things while still needing to bring in new ones, and this holds us back. And it holds us back in our lives that we are not able to move forward beyond where we were hurt or what happened or was wrong, beyond those things. And the media is not helping us by putting out by we are not helping ourselves by consuming more and more of the same media that we did. I'd rather you actually watch a movie, take in all that you can, but move forward. Try to move forward. Make sure that the movie stays alive in here, in your memories, in your heart. Note the lessons that you noted, but enjoy it like a real life experience. Because in real life, when you go somewhere and you enjoy a certain thing, you you have the memory of what you enjoyed, but it does not necessarily mean the next time you go back there you'll actually enjoy it, because it won't be the same time frame, it won't be the same time, it won't be the same thing. Let's say the thing you enjoyed was you went to a pizza place, and then they gave you this legendary pizza, and then you ate this pizza, it was all that you could imagine. When you go back there, it doesn't necessarily mean that the pizza will taste the same. Maybe the chef Moselle, that was actually making the pizza so good and so tasty, he actually is out for the night. So you find Chef Miguel, and Chef Miguel is not in a baking mood. He's having his own problem. So your pizza doesn't necessarily taste the same. We need to understand that life actually has a progression. It has a way of moving forward, moving us forward. It's just that we need to accept the movement forward by actually learning to let go and adapting a growth mindset. This growth mindset is essential because in reality, it's either we are evolving or we are repeating. And in certain instances, repeating sometimes means death. Not the physical death, confirmation verb, not the physical death, but the death of our progression, the death of our growth. Meaning that if something is not growing, it is dying. That's the extreme of it, I know, but stagnation is a form of death. Meaning that when you are still and you are not actually being able to, you're not moving things forward, you are actually experiencing a type of death, because death is a point where everything stops. So understanding that death is, it comes in many forms. Death is something that comes in many forms. literally means that you have to actually allow yourself to actually let things die so that you don't die. Let things die so that you don't die. Don't find yourself being the one dying, actually, but instead let things die within you so that you can be free to actually go forward, to actually go to greener pastures. Sometimes that means squash it, squash their beef. You know what? Squash their beef. It's okay to sometimes forgive somebody but never talk to them. Squash it. It's okay. And sometimes it means that, you've seen that movie enough now. It's time that you take the lessons that you remember and you feel, and then move along, move forward. It's okay now. It's like, honestly, if we keep circulating the same kinds of media, sometimes it actually makes us stuck into a certain time stamp that no longer resonates or is no longer needed. So take what resonates and move along. Literally, take what you need and move along. Do not carry baggages of the past. Carrying that baggage of the past is just slowing you down. You could be getting further and further. You could be climbing the mountains with vigor, with strength, with true power, showing your heroic attributes. But because you're carrying so much baggage, you can't. Instead, you're playing the role of the mule. Role of the mule to carry the baggage. So I say that to say this: your spirit wants growth. Your spirit needs growth. It needs to evolve. That is the nature of the spirit. It needs to evolve. But sometimes that evolution means to actually examine past behaviors, past activities in order to overstand them. And then when you finally get the seed of equivalent advantage, move along. If you've learned your lesson, move along. When you've got that seed, move along. Plant it in the ground and move accordingly. Water it, keep nurturing it, but also note the things that made your seed not bloom the last time, and don't repeat those behaviors. Watch out for them. Literally adapt a growth mindset within your soul. Adapt it within your very heart. Feel the reason why the things that were so had to change, so that you can realize the music, the movies, media, the kinds of media that we are consuming, it sometimes is holding us back. What kind of message is that song saying? That's another topic. What kind of message is that movie saying? The underlying message, because there is what the movie is about. Yes, the character A and character B's, but you must also understand that this is also a reflection of you, because as within, so without. So if something without catches your attention, catches your within, you need to understand why that thing is catching your within in order for you to accommodate the without accordingly. In order for you to make sure that you do not mistaken that as something that you need to entertain, but entertain it in a manner that teaches you or gives you the seed of equivalent advantage over your current situation, meaning it must grow you, it must evolve you. Otherwise, why is it there? I love you. Yeah, I have a, I have a, I have a, I have a book coming out soon. Keep on the lookout for that. I know I've been talking about it. It's just that when I addressing a few things, fixing things on my side, but look out for that. It's happening. I love you. Peace.